Welcome, everybody. Today is Wednesday, October 9th, 2024, and this is the 2025 Discount Tire Benefits session. We will walk you through all the details and what you need to consider in terms of your benefits. So Brian's going to walk us through the first session, and let me share my screen and bring up the so I have the PDF here and also have a document here. So we can, Brian, do you want to start on this document or?
Yeah, we sure. So the first off, we'll cover, I guess, the open enrollment dates, as many of y'all probably already know. Started this past week already on Monday, and then extends through another week and a half through October 25th. So the first piece that we want to cover is the medical insurance, health insurance in general, but starting off with the medical insurance. So you've got a choice of two plans. With the exception of Michigan, both plans are supported by United Healthcare. First, you've got the Choice Plus plan, which is a traditional plan where the company makes no contributions. You do not have an HSA. You do have accessibility or the option to elect a flexible spending account where you can save on pre-tax dollars and then reimburse yourself for any qualified medical expenses from that flexible spending account. Of course, the flexible spending account is a use it or lose it type of account. It only lasts for that calendar year. So if you have excess funds in the flexible spending account that you're able to use, those do not carry over to the following benefit year.
Yeah.
One thing to note that's a difference between the choice plan and the HSA plan is prescriptions cost are not counted towards the deductible for the Choice Plus plan. And we'll go over a little bit more of those details when we go to the PDF. And then with the HS plan, you've got the health savings account where Discount Tire contributes either 500 or 1,000, depending on what type of coverage you elect. The key thing on the HSA is the plan does not start covering the cost until the deductible is met. And then once the deductible is met, the plan cost covers 80% of the cost. And then there's a 20% employee co-insurance. Under the HSA plan, you are able to enroll in the flexible spending account as well. However, it's very limited in the sense that you can only use it for dental and vision expenses. You cannot use the flexible spending account for any medical. And on the rates that we're going to quote, that we're going to get ready to go over, the premiums assume wellness rates, which in order to qualify, you must declare yourself annually within workday as tobacco free in order to qualify for the wellness rate. So everything that we discuss on this next page will be in the context of the wellness rate premiums. And I'll go ahead and share these details. So hopefully you can see this. So this is a breakdown of the Discount Tire medical program. So what we have here is the two Choice Plus programs broken out between employee only, employee plus spouse, and family plans. And I believe there's also an employee plus children, but excluded from here. And then also likewise, the same type 3 plans under the HSA or the health savings plan. Here are the premiums. So we've got the weekly premiums that are coming out of your paycheck over the course of the year. So these are all annualized rates. So it takes the weekly rate and multiplies about 52 weeks to get to this wellness premium. So what we're trying to do here is we'll compare kind of the overall cost. So then you all can make a decision on what plan might fit you and or your family the best. As you can tell, just by looking like the employee only plan, the health savings plan is significantly less expensive from a premium perspective. However, the deductibles are different between the two plans. So in the Choice Plus plan, it varies from 700 for employee only to 2,100 as a family. And then the health savings plan is a $2,000 deductible. The one feature for the health savings plan, the company actually contributes funds to the HSA. So 500 for the employee only and 1,000 for anybody beyond the employee.
Mhm.
And then out-of-pocket maximum, they're the same across the two plans. For employee only, it's 3,500 and 7,000 for anything beyond the employee. So one of the things we do here on the far right is we look at the maximum potential cost for the plan. And this is simply looking at your wellness premium that you pay each week, plus the out-of-pocket maximum. And in the case of the health savings plan, it also incorporates the company contribution in doing the calculations. So in the case of an employee, it looks at the wellness premium plus the out-of-pocket maximum, less what the company contributes. So it's $4,332. So if you make a lot of use of your plan, i.e. you'll look like you might reach the out-of-pocket maximum. Like if you have a planned surgery or something else that you anticipate happening or know that will be scheduled for 2025, and you might hit the maximum. The HSA, the health savings plan, comes out to a lesser maximum total cost for the year. And then for those that may not have reached the maximum cost, there's a decision to be made, which is all family specific between the two plans. So down here, there's a cost comparison, which takes into account the lesser premiums you're paying under the HSL savings plan versus the company contribution and looks at the total difference. So the difference from an employee plan is just over $1,000. If you're under the health savings plan, you'll save that in the form of premium as well as the HSA company contribution. And in the case of anything beyond the employee only plan, you'll save roughly $2,700 to $2,800 between the plans. The key differentiator is, and this is where it comes into a family decision, is the prospect of meeting the deductible. So all physician, specialist office visits, urgent care visits, and prescriptions are 100% the employee cost until the deductible is met. We'll look over here at the discount tire plan to kind of look at the examples here. So here's the Choice Plus plan versus the health savings plan. As you can see here, preventative care is 100% under both plans. However, when you get into sickness and injury, any type of events where it's not a preventative maintenance, where you're going to the physician office or a specialist office, it's a flat rate for the Choice Plus plan, either $20 or $40. The health savings plan, you're paying the full amount. This is what this asterisk stands for. You're basically paying for the full amount of that visit, which can range up to like $400 possibly, depending on the specialist and the physician. You're paying the full amount of that plan until the deductible is met. So that's the key part of this asterisk here, is the fact that you're going to have to meet this deductible prior to anything being paid out of the insurance. And that's where the decision comes in the case of this amount here is from a premium perspective in the company contribution, you're saving with the health savings plan. However, if you're going to the doctor a lot, or in the case of the same applies to prescriptions, where a deductible must be met before the plan pays for anything, that savings you get from the health savings plan in the form of premiums and the HSA contribution may be eaten up in a sense because of the you're paying 100% of the cost versus a set amount for both prescriptions and any of these physician services. So that's really a personal decision. So if you know you have a lot of visits to the doctor or like physical therapy or something like that that are coming up, you won't want to look at the out-of-pocket expenses before choosing one versus the other.
Okay.
Yeah, and just a couple other notes on the HSA.
Yeah.
The HSA contribution limits have gone up slightly in 2025 versus 2024. Self-only is increased by $150 is $4,300. The family plan is $8,550. And just to take note, this limits are including all sources. So if the company contributes 500 or 1,000, that means in the case like if you have a family plan, Discount Tire provides 1,000. That means the max you can put in yourself will be $7,550. And then if you're age 55 or older, you're eligible for an additional $1,000 catch up, which increases the maximum limit that you can contribute for any given year. And one thing that we recommend is consider funding the HSA directly as a lump sum rather than through payroll. You will have access to the funds earlier, or if you've got a significant balance in your HSA, that enables you to invest those funds earlier in the year than going through the week by week payroll deductions.
Yep. I love it. And these contributions that you make to the health savings account, they're also pre-tax. So that helps reduce your tax liability as well. And all the growth, I guess I'll sort of expand on your point, Brian. The growth in terms of the HSA account and those funds, when you sell those and use those, say, for example, in retirement, those all remain tax-free forever through retirement the whole time. Okay, very good. So it's saying I'm sharing my screen, and now we'll migrate over here to the next component. So we have Delta Dental. Of course, you make your own call in terms of your dental coverage and then your vision coverage here. For life insurance, the company offers 1.5 times your annual salary for a maximum of 50,000. And if you're wanting to take more, you can take supplemental coverage of up to an additional 7 times your salary, and you're going to be capped at 500,000. From there, your spouse can take up to 50%, but here again, it's capped at 100,000. So you'll evaluate those costs and your need, for your own plan. What happens here is we'll typically see a stair-step structure where these windows, the price goes up every time you hit these different milestone birth dates. So this is something to consider, and we've seen this quite a bit where this can end up costing more than what you can get on the open market, based on someone being healthy. So this is something to take a look at. Make sure you have the right amount, and you can evaluate your cost as well. Okay, short-term disability, you must elect this in your workday. This is going to replace 60% of your income to a maximum of $1,200 a week. And so there is a cost associated with this, but this is one of those areas where you absolutely want to take that benefit. It pays up to 24 weeks. And then from there, if the issue is significant enough, you'll migrate on to the disability insurance, the long-term disability, I should say, which again is the 60%. And then here you're going to get up to $6,000 per month. And that typically it begins after 6 months, and then it takes you through age 65. So these two areas are definitely important, and something that you'll want to take for in your workday. All right. Having said that, Brian, let me turn the next part over to you.
So your 401k, after you vest, which is the qualifying event's 1,000 hours of service. Discount Tower matches the first 6% dollar for dollar contributions that you make to the 401k. So if you make 6% contribution, then Discount Tower will match it for 6%, and you'll have 12% going into your 401k each week. And of course, you can do more than 6%. The only thing would be you're capped at the limit for the contributions, IRS limit for the contributions to the IRS, which was 30,000, or I guess 23,000 in 2024 for those that are below age 50, and 30,500 for those 55 and above for 2024. I don't know if they've come out yet with the 2025 limits, but they won't be any lower than that. So that's only the maximizing part would be you can't contribute above that amount. You also have some great benefits as far as educational assistance for your children, your college age dependents, 17 to 24. Any of your students that are attending a 4-year anniversary that are at least maintaining a full-time status, which is case of Discount Tower's 12 credit hours per semester, you're eligible for a scholarship of $5,000 per year. And then if your child attends a 2-year community college or vocational school, you qualify for up to $2,000 per year. And just the key thing is just to take note of the deadlines. For new students, it's March 15th. And for those that are going into year 2 and beyond, renewing students, the deadline is April 15th to apply for that. So those are 2 key dates should you have children or dependents that qualify for that scholarship. And you also have for yourself tuition assistance program available to you. And they've got certain designated limits that Discount Tower will reimburse you for those expenses.
Okay, so next there are a number of additional ancillary benefits. The employee assistance program via support link. It's right on the main page when you log in. So this is a great benefit, unlimited phone consultations with this. Within the wellness program, you'll receive this link. There are many things within the wellness program itself. And a couple I saw on the main page are one of them has to do with gym memberships, and another component, I have it over here on the screen, which of course you'll see when you log into Workday. Legalese is important, especially because the culture of Discount Tire is to get promoted, and which oftentimes involves moving. So when you're buying or selling real estate, it's good to have an attorney review all the documents and be double checking the information that's part of the closing process. So it's not overly expensive. Additionally, as it relates to your own estate plan, if you don't have a will, you definitely need one. And when you move to a new state, these are state-specific documents. So you'll need to get a new will, power of attorney, directive to physicians for anyone who gets promoted or moves from one state to another. And depending on how old you are, you may or may not be getting traffic tickets. I used to get traffic tickets and I used my insurance, but it's been a while. It's been a while since but there are actually a handful of other things within this. We just highlighted the big ones here. Identity theft is important both for yourself and for your family. On the very top, we put here for your minor dependents. So young kids do not, their credit is not monitored. So this is an area where there's a lot of fraud for minors. So anyone who has dependent children, you'll want to take this identity theft and make sure you get the kids in the plan as well. So you get credit report and it'll track your devices and help with identity theft and fraud as well. The dependent care spending account, this is separate from the flexible spending account that we talked about. And so this is another place where you can make deposits on a pre-tax basis and fund for preschool, before and after school care, as well as day camp. So with these different benefits, what's important to note is that you can access them pre-tax. Care at work. This is an interesting benefit which references having a backup. So you get up to 10 days per year, and if something unexpected happens, you have backup for childcare or elderly parents. And then in addition to that, over the summer, well, I shouldn't say in addition, but as a component of that, for kids camp, you can be reimbursed up to $125 per day for any unused backup days. So if you don't use this otherwise, and the kids are going to go to the camp over the summer, you can get up to 10 days reimbursed for $125 per day. So that's a nice benefit. Well, there's $1,250 right there. Travel assistance, traveling more than 100 miles from home. There's a whole slew of benefits there. And then just wrapping up here, there's okay, My Secure Advantage, there's money coaching. It's available through New York Life Insurance Company. So they offer what seems to be a financial planning, or like if you have an emergency situation, they can walk you through how to think about that. Pet insurance. This is if you're inclined to opt for surgery for your pet, this would be something to consider. Enrollment's not in Workday. You can enroll anytime. But we've seen, both sides of this and seen people really commit a high amount of expense towards their pets in terms of surgery. So that this would be something to consider. And then this last one, Perk Spot, you can say this is completely free. Save on restaurants, tickets, computers, travel, cell phone. There's a whole slew of areas that you can save through this Perk Spot program. So that's always it's always fun. It's always fun to save. So you will receive this document along with our follow-up email. So any additional questions, those are here. You can work with each of these specific departments. If you have any questions personally, feel free to reach out to us. My thought is, rather than have a Q&A here at the end, if you have a specific question about your own situation, feel free to reach out to us, let us know, and we can get that question answered for you. So in the sake of time, we will wrap it up from here, and looking forward to working with each of you into 2025 and beyond. So thank you so much and have a great day. Bye-bye.